What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Trash or Pass, where I answer the tough questions. Is this bait trash or does it pass? How you like that? How you like that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's a whale! 9/11. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's.
You know, you wouldn't believe it, but it's actually like 7:30 in the morning. I woke up just invigorated today. I feel great, but we're not here to talk about my day or my morning schedule. I'm going to turn this heater off because it's freaking cold out right now. It's like 40 degrees in this garage. That's better. So, let's get into this. You saw what we're talking about today. We're talking about the 13 Fishing Pathfinder. The hybrid spook walking frog bait. You can call this like a spog, spook frog, a sprog bait. Sprog. Yes, this is a sprog is what it is. Now, before we get into this, I want to thank Monster for sponsoring this episode. They're not sponsoring this episode, YouTube. That was a joke. So don't, do whatever you do with demonetizing or whatever. I want to tell you guys a story. I'm going to tell you guys a little story about a guy. A guy who would go out and get super excited and caught up in the hype of brand new baits to hit the market. Brand new baits to hit the market, and he would just sit and wait for that one bait to get available on Tackle Warehouse. And that guy waited and waited. I feel like we're just kind of dragging this out now. But he saw the 13 Pathfinder come available on Tackle Warehouse. And the only color they had available was white rhino. Or albino rhino. Whatever the color they call this, albino rhino. And he picked it up. And he was pumped. And he was super excited. And then he went out and threw it for the first time. And nothing happened. Threw it in the grass. He threw it in some pads. He threw it where he knew topwater would excel. And nothing happened. This was the first bait that I wanted to say was going to be trash. But it wasn't. So, let's roll some footage really quick and we're going to talk about this bait. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Telling you, I really hope this is the first trash. I hope that hookup ratio is horrible on it. I hope that it gets blown up a couple times and I just can't quite do it. Now, I'm not going to sabotage it because that would be stupid. Because I want to catch fish no matter what. But the walk on it is, it's great. It can take a minute to kind of kick up, but it does have a really good walk to it. Oh. Nope. No. Definitely trash. That was a...
But the only way I can do push-ups is with my kid on my back.
It happened. Can he stay on?
I think he's gone.
Yep. Oh, no. All right. Let's talk about this.
Okay, he got it pretty damn good.
Yeah, he did get it pretty good. He got it pretty freaking good. All right. It's my first fish on the Pathfinder.
So the day that I really took this out and really kind of committed to it, I was out there with Steve, and honestly, that day I really thought that this bait was going to be the one to be the first trash bait. The first bait that did not excel, the first bait that was not great for me. However, me and Steve were talking quite a bit, and that day in particular, even though we had some good topwater action, it was one of those days where those fish were just kind of swiping at stuff on the top. He was catching them on a Sammy. Treble hook baits on topwater were the money that day. But they were just kind of swiping at stuff. And this bait in particular got hit quite a few times. All it really took was that one fish that really wanted to commit to this bait. And it choked it. It absolutely choked it. I was very impressed with this bait. So the way this bait is set up is you've got a hard body up front with a rattle. You've got a soft body at the back, collapsible like frog. Still got some water in there. Look at that. Oh, that's disgusting. I should probably, ooh. Anyways, collapsible body like a frog. And then it does have a magnet system that holds the hook. Okay? So there is a magnet on the back of that, and you've got frog hooks on there. So this bait in particular got hit quite a bit. But again, fish were just not really committing that day, kind of swiping at it. We had that one that did finally commit to it. But I was sitting there fishing it, and I missed like 3 or 4 fish on this. And I was like, this bait's trash. And it's absolute trash. That's the first one to finally make the trash pile. It's done. And Steve was just like, hey, it's going to have its place. And I started to think about it, and I was like, you know what? He's right. He's right. I cannot be that guy that is so quick to pass judgment. I can't be that guy because I'm out here really committing to this bait for the first time, and I need to give it a fair shake here. So the bait itself is fairly weedless. Okay, you've got a little bit of a gap in the hook and the fins right there, small gap. So you do want to be careful that you're not throwing this in, extremely thick, tall grass. It does sit great in the water. It does take on water as well. So if you're getting this bait and you're noticing that it's sitting down like this, you need to reel it back in. You need to get the water out of that soft body. It walks pretty dang good. I would give the walk maybe a B walk, because when it does walk, it walks great. But sometimes it is tough to get up to that walking motion, okay? It's not something that's going to be extremely easy. If you're not used to walking baits, it's not going to be one that you can just take out of the box and walk right away. It's not like a Dog XD Monte. It's not like a Sexy Dog. It's not like a Dogma from Sixth Sense. It is round. It does not have that flat keel side. So it does take a little bit of work to get it to walk. When it does, it's fantastic. But again, this bait, I really kind of wanted to hate it, but I cannot hate this bait because it is literally frog fishing when you know that they are just targeting those walking baits and the fleeing bait fish. And I had Big John, he asked me, he was just like, why not throw a frog? And I was like, that's a good point. Why not throw a frog? But on a walking frog, a lot of the time you're not going to have that rattle. A lot of the time you can't throw that walking frog in open water like you would an actual spook. This is just kind of one of those niche baits. This is one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Novelty. It's kind of a novelty bait. And it's one of those baits that you get because it's cool, because it's different, and you want to frog fish, but you don't like frog fishing, or you're not getting frog bites, but you know they're hitting the spook, and you just want that itch for the frog bite. I think the bait's great. I like it quite a bit. Like I said, I wanted to hate it, but after I finally, got good connection on this bait, it was awesome. I mean, the hookup ratio was solid on it. When those fish are committing to it, it's got its place. But again, this bait has its place. This is not going to be a bait that you can go out and throw anytime and is going to get bit and they're going to commit to it and they're going to hook up and it's not going to cause you frustration. This is not that bait. I feel like that's rattling so much. This bait is one that will cause you some frustration, okay? You just got to know the right places to throw this bait. This really does excel in those thick matted grass patches where you would normally throw a frog, but you want to call them up with a little bit more aggressiveness like the rattle to it. Works great in pads, works great in the tall grass, works great in open water. So again, the 13 fishing Pathfinder, the albino rhino, the Sprague bait. 100%. I think it's a pass. I think it's great. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you're still here and you're not yet, please smash that subscribe button for me. Hit the thumbs up. Drop a comment. Let's keep growing this channel. I'll see you guys next time we're on the water.